We see it all the time. An e-commerce founder hits their first streak of success, and the immediate instinct is to step on the gas. The prevailing culture tells us that scaling up means moving faster, pushing harder, and chasing rapid revenue at all costs. In the beginning, this brute force approach actually works. You can muscle your way to profitability. A scrappy team pulling late nights and relying on willpower can force early growth metrics directly upward. But eventually, you hit a ceiling. There comes a specific moment where adding more raw human effort suddenly stops yielding proportional revenue gains. What you are experiencing at this stage is operational exhaustion. It acts as an invisible friction within your company, dragging down teams that used to be incredibly agile. When you rely on endless manual tasks and overloaded internal systems to keep the lights on, you actively drain your team's baseline capacity to function. Every unorganized workflow acts like a tiny leak in your battery. Using temporary high adrenaline intensity to run systems that require permanent stability eventually limits how far the company can scale before quality begins to suffer. To see exactly how this plays out, take a look at this graph. Here, we are tracking two identical businesses from a single point of early, steep upward growth. Right here at the peak is the critical moment of scaling, and the exact point their operational philosophies split. Let's follow the lower line. This first business treats every new operational bottleneck as a 5-alarm fire. Instead of fixing the root cause, they throw more manual labor at the problem, creating a cycle of erratic spikes and dips that eventually flatlines. The immediate side effect of living in a perpetual state of emergency is mental fatigue. When executives are constantly overwhelmed just putting out today's fires, their decision-making process becomes clouded. That exhaustion trickles down. Teams in this reactive cycle have no bandwidth left for actual innovation. They abandon creative work and long-term strategic planning just to survive the daily workload. This model creates a scenario where every new customer increases the internal friction, making it more difficult for the team to maintain a high level of execution. Now, let's look at the alternative. High-performing brands adopt a philosophy of energy protection. They design internal machinery to operate seamlessly, removing unnecessary human friction. The first mechanic in this model is intentional simplification. These businesses actively strip down convoluted workflows before increased order volume has a chance to break them. Second, they automate. By handing off repetitive administrative chores to software, they preserve their team's mental energy for high-level problem-solving. Third, they enforce realistic processes. Instead of relying on heroic weekend sprints to catch up, they establish sustainable, repeatable daily rhythms. When you protect your systems like this, the internal environment remains calm. Without the constant noise of overload, teams think clearly, and strategic planning becomes more effective. Returning to our diagram, you can see how this approach traces the second line. We get a smooth, compounding upward curve that surpasses the chaotic trajectory of the brute force model. Protecting internal energy builds a stable foundation for consistent, long-term performance. This internal stability doesn't stay hidden behind the scenes. Your operational health radiates outward, and the market feels it directly. An exhausting business eventually bleeds its chaos into the public sphere. Customers start to notice delayed fulfillment, erratic email responses, and rising shipping errors. A business with protected energy offers the opposite experience. Because their internal workflows are calm, order fulfillment is more reliable, communication remains consistent, and problems are solved rapidly. The outcome is visible in your retention metrics. The exhausted brand loses its competitive edge, while the calm, methodical brand builds a reputation for reliability. Over time, businesses that preserve their energy are positioned to outlast competitors who operate in a state of constant overload. Take a close look at your own daily operations. Where is the hidden friction slowing your company down? Identify one repetitive, manual task that is currently consuming your team's energy without adding real value to the final product. Redesign that specific task today or automate it. Shifting your focus away from managing chaos is the first step toward protecting your operational energy.